You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you and your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
No, I'm not backing back. I walk the line. I stay out the way. Yeah, never speak my mind. Living in a shade of gray. But the more I get to know me, the more you start to show me this isn't how it's meant to be. So I'll just keep on walking, and you can keep on talking. I'ma have to make a scene. Yeah. Played it safe, been afraid my whole life. Now things have changed, won't stay silent this time. No, I'm not backing down, no, you can't count me out. Nothing in this world gonna stop me now. No, I'm not backing down, no, I'm not backing down, down, down. I've watched the game. I stood on the sidelines. That same old same. But now it's my time, yeah. 'Cause if you don't stand for nothing, you always fall for something. This isn't how it's meant to be. So I'll just keep on walking and let him do the talking. I'ma have to make a scene. I played it safe, been afraid my whole life. Now things have changed, won't stay silent this time. No, I'm not backing down, no, you can't count me out. Nothing in this world gonna stop me now. No, I'm not backing down, no, I'm not backing down, down, down.
Yeah, I've been there, did that. Afraid to be me, so I hid that. Quick with the fear, so I disappeared and then dropped to the ground like a miscatch. But I'm done with that. You can tell them all that I'm done with that. No more backing down into the background. That's now 'cause I put them old habits down. I follow the leader, and where he may take me may make me a leader. It's road on the wall, all you need to is read it. Can't be a lame duck, and it's over the Eagles. So I'm crossing the line. Tell them all, dog, that I lost so much time. Ain't staying in this place 'cause I gotta win a race, and I'm running for a crown. Can't back it down, nah.
I played it safe, been afraid my whole life. Now things have changed, won't stay silent this time. No, I'm not backing down, no, you can't count me out. Nothing in this world gonna stop me now.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
Listen, folks, I'm here to tell you our political system is broken. The two-party system is dead. They have become one and the same.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host.
And in a surprising and disturbing move today, the Libertarian vice presidential candidate just agreed that rifles are weapons of mass destruction and people on the terror watch list should not be allowed to purchase guns. So in other words, the party of freedom is liberty for me but not for thee. Go figure.
Compromise where you can. Where you can't, don't. Even if everyone is telling you that something wrong is something right. Even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself like a tree.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas.
The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots. Toys, toys, toys for tots. Some have too many, some haven't any. If those who have give those who haven't, oh, what a Christmas day. The Marine Reserve will help you fill your sleigh with lots and lots of toys for tots. So give a little toy today.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
Hello, America. Welcome to America Off the Rails, and I know that was a rather unorthodox show opening, but there are a couple of reasons we did that. One, that has kind of become my theme song throughout the 2016 election cycle because I've been taking flack from all sides. I have a feeling that is going to continue. Also, because I got some disturbing news about a family member today, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I do ask for some prayer requests, for a basically silent prayer request. Without giving too much information, because I will respect their privacy, especially now that this show is getting crazy listens from pretty much everywhere that it plays. I don't want to put anybody out there, but let's just say it's been a pretty hectic day. So this show was prepped before I got the news, and actually it just kind of hit me. That's actually one of the songs I listen to in kind of a loop while I'm prepping for the show for about 15 minutes before I go on air, because it usually helps with the energy level, especially if you've had an 8 to 10 hour day doing day job stuff, radio prep, production work, everything else. Got to do something to get the energy up, and it's usually songs like that help me do that. But I thought it was important to play that for a couple of different reasons, because if you listen to the words, it actually gives you a bit of a mindset that I have had ever since this election cycle started, and I realized that I was going to be one of the odd people out that really didn't have a candidate to back and weren't sure where we were going to wind up when it was all over, and that hasn't changed. Donald Trump will be the president. I understand that. I accept it. I will do my best to live with it. But that doesn't mean that I have to like everything that's going on and everything that he's saying. And one of the things that I noticed that he changed early on, because if you listen to him early in the campaign cycle, he was talking about how, we can't really do anything about minimum wage. We just can't, because it would be too hurtful to businesses, etc. And then you'll notice that in a few places, depending on who he had in front of him, his story changed. It went from, well, we really can't do anything about minimum wage, to I really don't understand how anybody survives on $7.25 an hour. And then it was, well, we should probably do something, and maybe $10 an hour would be a good place to start. Now, what we're going to be talking about a lot during the show today is why that is a terrible idea. And the funny thing is, depending on who you listen to, you're going to hear that it's either a really, really good idea or the worst idea ever. I am firmly in the really, really terrible idea camp. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the worst idea ever, but it's definitely seriously not a good idea. Now, I mean, come on. I mean, at this point, if we're going to start making it mandatory that businesses pay everybody, why don't we just have the government start doling out all the money they're wasting on all these crazy projects, and everybody in America could be a millionaire, and then money wouldn't matter anymore? I mean, we went over that last night in some detail over the federal fumbles, the new report that gets put out here through Oklahoma Senator James Langford. And we talked about over $7 billion in wasted spending. If you really took the time to do the math on that, every American could be a millionaire. Like, I'm not even going to try to do the math there. How many Americans are there right now? What, about 343 million roughly? Maybe a little more. So you take $1 million of that wasted money. Kind of thinking that leaves a lot of money still left for the government to do whatever the heck they're going to do. But the thing that nobody really thinks about or talks about, because you keep hearing about all of these ways that raising minimum wage would help on a macroeconomic level. And that's one of the things that I keep having shoved down my throat sideways by all the lefties is, well, if they have more money in their pocket, Rick, they're going to have more money to spend. No, actually they won't, because here's what's been happening. In places like Seattle that already had above average minimum wage, that has now had their minimum wage artificially inflated to $11 an hour, on the way to $15 an hour by sometime around 2017 for companies with 500 employees or more. Interesting things are happening. Because, you know, it isn't the doom and gloom that everybody expected, but let's face it, it wasn't much of an increase because Seattle as a city already had a minimum wage of $9.47 an hour. So jumping it from $9.47 to $11, oh, wait, you mean you didn't know that different cities have different minimum wages based on their income levels and their cost of living expenses, etc.? You mean you really thought that everywhere in the country had a base minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, and that was all you got because you listened to the leftist media who only gives you one side of the story? Is that what you're telling me right now? Because you know how many people that I know that are leftists that had no idea that the town of Seattle had a minimum wage of $9.49 an hour until it got raised to $11 an hour? Almost all of them, because all they ever hear about is minimum wage is terrible. You can't survive on $7.25 an hour. Minimum wage is a baseline. It is not. That's what it is. Now, if you really want to get right down and technical with it, as far as I'm concerned, there shouldn't be a minimum wage. But we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. Now, what we're talking about right now, though, is places where they've already started to exceed the minimum wage, even above what they had already set it at on their own, which was rather counterproductive because with Seattle's economy and looking at all the different reports that have come out, their minimum wage was probably headed to somewhere near $11 an hour on their own, based on what they typically do as a projection. But they were artificially forced to push it there early. So people have started losing their jobs because the businesses that were paying them $9-something an hour that were having difficulty already meeting that standard in some cases because of different issues and other problems are now having to pay them almost $1.50 an hour more for the same jobs. But the interesting thing about that is when you take into account the number of people that have had their hours cut because their wages are now higher, or the number of people that have actually been laid off completely because the wages are now higher, there has been a net drop of $5.42 a week per employee in the city of Seattle. So they are supposed to be making $1.50 an hour more. So let's just assume that it's probably places like Starbucks or McDonald's where they don't make a full 40 hours. So let's assume they're getting on average $30 or 30 hours. That should be an increase of approximately $36. Except they're down almost $6. So they've got $1.50 an hour more going in, but they're losing money because their hours have been cut even further, and the prices of the products they buy there have gone up. It's one of the things that we keep trying to tell you guys, and nobody wants to listen to us. The more you raise minimum wage, the worse it's going to be. Because you're forcing businesses to do something that is a government mandate instead of them being allowed to pay people what they feel they're worth. Now, there are companies that do it right, And that's the thing that nobody focuses on. We'll actually talk about that here in just a minute when we get back, but we have got to take another really quick break right about now because we're about to run long if I'm not really, really careful. So when we come back, we're going to continue the talk about why the Fight for 15 is a terrible idea. We also have my personal take on whether or not we should make burning the flag illegal that we'll get to later in the show as well. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We will be right back here in just about 3 minutes or so.
Stay tuned. Things are going to get real interesting. You're listening to the Spark Radio Network.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
And welcome back, folks. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We've been talking about the Fight for 15 and why it is a terrible, terrible idea, and we're going to keep talking about that right now. And again, what we've been talking about so far is places where they've already started raising the minimum wage based on feedback in more liberal areas and the consequences of those actions. Now, again, remember, in Seattle, they now have a minimum wage of $11 an hour. on the way to $15 an hour in 2017. However, everybody that was touting this new $11 an hour minimum wage, they now are facing the harsh realization that technically they're bringing home about $6 less a week than they were before they raised the minimum wage. Now, again, if you're just now tuning in, you're probably asking, well, how does that work exactly? If they're making about $35, $36 more a week, how are they losing money? Price increases and hourly cuts. It's kind of how that stuff works. You know, and I don't know, maybe we've hit the point where we've gotten, long enough in the tooth since we've done the last minimum wage hike. Maybe we have a new generation of folks that have never lived through a minimum wage hike before. I don't know, because I've lived through now two of them, actually 3. And each time prices go up. Kind of funny how that works, because, you know, the businesses that are having to pay you more suddenly have to charge more. Now, I can't, because I promised I would never do this, or never do it, but I can't really talk about where I actually work during the day, because I promised them that even though it's become kind of public knowledge that I do this show under an assumed name, that I won't talk about where I actually work, because they've asked me not to. But where I work, I actually make, for Oklahoma, substantially more than minimum wage. But if we get to the point where we're paying people $15 an hour, it will wind up even increasing what I make an hour. In theory, on paper. That is if I still have a job. Because even with where I'm working, you're talking about an increase of almost $4 an hour. Well, a little over $3. Which for Oklahoma folks isn't bad. I know some of you, a lot of you listen on the left coast out in California, because we've gotten some pretty good numbers out there since we've joined CRN. Actually, about 50% of my plays lately have come out of California, which gives me hope. It either gives me hope or terrifies me, because either there are a lot more conservatives out in California than we knew about, or you guys think I'm a leftist because I'm opposed to Trump. I'm not sure which one actually works, but, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, this whole fight for 15 thing, if that happens, and where I work is not a huge place. I mean, well, the department I work in that is part of a much larger organization is not a huge place. And if the fight for 15 happens and comes to a place like this, where $15 an hour is really, really good money, or was, or would have been, then we're talking about the loss of probably about a third of our workforce immediately, to make up for the extra money that they're having to pay those of us that would remain. Those are the type of things that we're starting to look at forcing into happening if we continue to have talks like this. And if you don't believe me, then look at what's happening in fast food restaurants and grocery stores all around the country. They have already started to move towards kiosk machines in places like Carl's Jr. and McDonald's, or in some places Hardee's, because Carl's Jr. and Hardee's are kind of a split brand now. So it's one in some places and another in the other. You have the ability now to go up to a machine that looks a lot like an ATM with a touchscreen. You put on there what you want on it, and you swipe your card, and you go on about your day. No human interaction required, other than the folks that are making the food back there and eventually bring it to you when it's ready to go. So we're talking about the elimination of jobs on a regular basis. We're talking about the fact that we already have self-checkout at about 25% of the registers of grocery stores and places like Walmart and other places all around the country. And they're improving on that technology as we speak. They're taking some of the scanner technology that they've used in airports now for years and figuring out ways to tag items and make sure that those items are scanned as you walk through a scanner similar to the one that you go through at an airport, and it scans everything in your basket because they're all going to be tagged. And then, no cashier required. No removing the items from the basket required. None of this, please place your item in the bagging area. Unexpected item in bagging area. No, none of that. You just walk through a scanner. It says, oh, you have 15 items. This is what they cost. This is what you owe us. You pay and you keep on walking. No cashier required. These are the things that we are forcing businesses to do. We are forcing them to find ways to innovate beyond the need for human beings because we keep forcing them to pay us more and more money for jobs that were never meant to be full-time positions for adults. This is one of the problems in this country. but we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get back. Believe it or not, we are already at the bottom of the hour, so we've got to take a quick break. This is America Off the Rails. We'll be right back.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
Welcome back, America. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, coming to you live right now on KLRNradio.com. Also available on AMFM247.com every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're available on RedNationRising.us, on Red Nation Rising Radio, the Liberty Channel, at 6 a.m. Eastern every Monday through Friday. We're available on Liberty. I always say that. I guess I'm stuck on Liberty. Lanterns Radio Network at lanterns.buzz, available every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Available on iHeart, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FM Player, iTunes, and Jess is going to yell at me because I keep forgetting all the places that were listed. But I'm going to put all these in writing soon and have Richard put together a blurb that we can run during one of the commercial breaks, so I don't keep having to sound like a moron when I can't remember all the places my show runs. And prayers requested. We have recently submitted a request to be placed somewhere that I will not name because I don't want to jinx it, but let's just say if we get it, it'll be really, really huge. So please, 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 please pray. Now, back to what we were talking about before the break. The Fight for 15, why it's a terrible idea. Bit of a... actually, I wasn't aware of this until Jess mentioned it in the chat room. I guess the Sam's Wholesale Club, which is kind of a regional thing, kind of like Costco, same business model, not run quite as well, though, in my opinion. They already have a scan and pay app where basically you just kind of scan the stuff as you go on your smartphone and you pay for everything and they verify everything out the door through the receipt. So it looks like some of this stuff is a lot closer than we already thought, because I know that they're working on kind of an overall scanner idea where basically all your items are tagged and coded, and eventually you'll just walk through a scanner and you pay and you walk out. And with the pay on your phone options now with Apple and Google Pay and Samsung Pay and all these other different pay options, now I guess eventually we're going to get to the point where we don't even have to pay anybody. It'll just be like it's going to be one of those things where you're going to, well, we're now deducting $300 from your account because this is how much you've purchased. And that'll be the end of the transaction. But hey, and here's the thing. Technology changes. Things advance. I understand that. There were just as many people that were freaked out when blacksmithing went away, when the wagon wheel was no longer a thing. I understand all of that. But when we start artificially pushing it along through the government, that is what's scary. That is what needs to be watched, and that's why we need to be really careful with that sort of thing. Because we are artificially pushing people out of the workforce prematurely before there's enough technology to keep up with the changes. And thanks to our education system, we have people that aren't educated well enough to be able to keep up with those changes. That's why this is scary. That's why this idea, that this whole livable wage idea, is a very scary thing, because what exactly is a livable wage? I mean, look at it. We have people right now that are on government assistance for pretty much everything imaginable, but they have 60 and 70-inch flat-screen TVs. What exactly is a livable wage, and who makes that determination? I mean, when the New Deal was originally come up with back in the day, when they started all the programs that have now been widely perverted by our government, the whole idea was to make sure that people had safety nets that they could fall back on. We now have third and fourth generations of people that have never been off of those so-called safety nets. But they are still, in comparison to other parts of the world, some of the richest people on the planet, but they're still dependent on the government for survival. That was the very thing our founding fathers were trying to avoid. That's why we didn't try to institute a monarchy of our own when we fought for freedom. That's why we set everything up as a constitutional republic. That is why we did those things, was to make sure that at the end of the day the government served us and not the other way around. We have too many people now that are reliant and fully dependent on the government for their survival, and this Fight for 15 idea continues that. Now, the other thing that I really wanted to touch on a little bit, well, there's a couple of different things, but we're already starting to get pretty long in the show. One of the other things that's really been in the news a lot lately is this whole flag burning thing. Ever since Donald Trump made the announcement the other day that he thinks that people that burn the flag should possibly be considered for having their citizenship revoked. Now look, it's one thing to say that burning the flag is a bad idea. It's another thing entirely to say that we should remove people from the country for burning our flag. Now, I don't like burning the flag any more than you do. I mean, pretty much everybody here that listens to this show, whether you do it live or replay or wherever, in a lot of ways, we think alike. So I understand. None of us think burning the flag is a good idea. We wouldn't do it. Not only would we not do it, if it was one of our children that was doing it, we'd probably wind up going to jail for child abuse. And that's just how it is. But at the same time, we're talking about what is considered a freedom of expression. And when we start taking away freedom of expression, where do we stop taking it away? Now look, I remember the outcry when I was in high school, when they started doing all these weird National Endowment of the Arts projects, and somebody had placed a crucifix in a jar of urine and called it free speech, and everybody was aghast. And I understand that. As a Christian, I was appalled, even back then. Even though at that age, I'm talking like 16, 17 years old, I didn't even really fully understand what it meant to be a Christian then, and I was still incensed over it. But people have died for the right for these people to be morons. Who are we to take that sacrifice away? Who are we to decide what is free speech and what is not free speech? Why do we have that ability? Because let me tell you, one of the things that I've learned about free speech along the way, free speech does not give you the right to not be offended. It gives you the right to walk away if you are offended. It doesn't mean putting a muzzle on somebody. And trust me, that was a long, hard journey for me, because I used to be one of the biggest people that was one of those, well, it's free speech as long as I agree with it, and then if not, shut up. Trust me, I used to be there. A lot of people in my family still are. My wife and I were actually talking about the whole Donald Trump thinking it should be illegal to burn the flag today when I was prepping to produce for Grouchy. And I just kept telling her, when we start drawing that line, where do we stop? That's one of the things that we need to be concerned with, is when we start drawing that line, where do we stop? We'll talk about that a little bit more when we come back, but it is time for another quick break. We'll be right back.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
So welcome back, folks. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, and we've now changed topics, and we're talking about flag burning. Is it free speech? Is it not free speech? Should it really matter? And that's my question for everybody here, because, look, I understand that it irritates me. I'm one of the first people that got mad when I saw Colin Kaepernick taking a knee at the national anthem, but he has the ability to do it. Now, this is what you should do in those type of instances, because, if it's somebody that's personally burning a flag because they disagree with something, that's one thing. But if it's somebody that represents an organization doing it, then if you don't like the fact that they're doing it while they're representing an organization, talk to the organization. Make them understand why it is that you won't be supporting them, because they have people that are doing things like Colin Kaepernick was doing in his uniform, like kneeling at the national anthem. There are ways to make these things work in your favor. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, and this is, again, the capitalist coming out at me, and some people are not going to like it when I say this, but let's say, for the sake of argument, that we make it illegal to burn the American flag. You know what's going to wind up happening? Somebody's going to put out a flag that looks a lot like the American flag, but maybe with half the stars, and they're going to sell those specifically for flag burning, because then it wouldn't be the American flag because it doesn't have 50 stars. Now, look, I understand, and Jen last night on the Jen and Rick show actually talked about the fact that when she was in high school, she actually defended the idea of making flag burning illegal, and she showed ways that we could actually do that. And I understand that it can be done. Now, I also understand that Donald Trump was likely looking for another feel-good moment when he said, "We should revoke the citizenship of anyone who's burning the American flag." Because all of the diehard patriots that are red, white, and blue, and, mom and apple pie were like, yeah, we should, because if they don't like it here, they should get out. Which is exactly what my wife said today, by the way. Just saying. And there's nothing wrong with that statement. Because, look, that's the thing about living in a free country. If you don't like it here, you have the ability to leave. There is no Eastern Bloc wall holding you here. So if you don't like it here, then by all means, vote with your feet. Canada's nice this time of year. Mexico's even better. They've got a weaker economy, so your money's going to go further. Just saying. You have lots of choices, most of which don't even necessarily involve that you got to get on a plane. So quit complaining and go somewhere else, if you think this country is so terrible. But no, we should not make flag burning illegal. Because, again, it won't solve anything, because somebody will just put out a very similar product, and it will specifically be sold as not the American flag, so this is suitable for burning as protest. And if we make it illegal, who knows? Maybe I'll be one of the first ones to beat everybody to the punch, because why not? It's capitalism, baby. I mean, seriously, why not? You can be mad, you can roll your eyes, you can laugh, whatever you want to do, but we're talking capitalism at this point, because that's part of what this country was founded on. Now, speaking of capitalism, as we're starting to wind down the show, another thing I really wanted to touch on for just a moment, and this is not really to give them too much airtime, but Breitbart has launched a war against Frosted Flakes, or more specifically, Kellogg's cereal. Because Kellogg's has pulled their advertising from Breitbart. Hey, Kellogg's, if you're listening, we'll take your advertising money over here. Just saying, I think we might be able to get along. Maybe, unless you're completely leftist, because, everybody talks about, they're pulling their funding because Breitbart's conservative. Have you read Breitbart lately? I don't know very many people that consider themselves truly conservative that are either still there or even still read it, because it's not really It's not my brand of conservatism. I'll just say that, because apparently there are different types of conservatism. There's the normal everyday conservatism like you, me, and crazy Uncle Bob or whatever his name is down the street. But then there's the racist nationalist brand of conservatism, which I don't ascribe to, but apparently a lot of folks that read Breitbart do. So apparently Kellogg's has been like, yeah, no, we're done. So, yeah. So there's been a rather big outcry from folks that do support Breitbart that are now talking about boycotting Kellogg's cereal. Now, Kellogg's had to know this was going to happen. And there's nothing wrong with, one, them pulling their advertising, and two, fans of the product that they've pulled their advertising from saying, well, since you're no longer going to support something that I like, I'm no longer going to buy your cereal. So that's what I'm talking about right there. So there are ways to do this without burning things, breaking things, or making things illegal. It's called let capitalism work. Part of capitalism is being able to vote with your wallet. If you don't like something that a business is doing or a person that is affiliated with a business is doing, then stop supporting said business. It's part of capitalism. It's part of the way things work. Look, the simple fact of the matter is, folks, if we would actually stop just picking fights with one another, we would realize that we actually agree on quite a few different things. But we're actually going to touch on that when we come back, because we are up for the last break of the show. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We'll be right back.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
right, folks, welcome back, and we are just about out of time. Now, I want to leave you on one final thought as we're wrapping up the show, because right before we went to the last break, I was talking about the fact that if we could put a few things aside, we'd probably agree on quite a few things more than we disagree on, and that's been kind of a running commentary of mine for the last several years. The simple fact of the matter is it's pretty easy to figure out where we align and where we don't. It's called stop relying on how something makes you feel and start applying principles to the equation. Pretty simple concept. We've been talking about this at one point or the other for the last several shows. It's about choices. Choices have to be made every day. And just because you got it right yesterday or even today doesn't mean that you don't still have to make choices every single day that are going to affect you and they are going to affect others. So what you need to do is the same thing that we're talking about right here, and you need to start applying principles to the equation, because if you let principles guide you, things that you believe in, things that you understand are important, then you're going to be less reliant on things like the feels, and you're actually going to be able to stand up for things that you believe in instead of swaying in the wind like a lot of people are doing today. I have seen more people vacillate in this election cycle than I've ever thought humanly possible. I've kind of been in the same place from the beginning. Now, again, I tried to gravitate towards Trump at first. I really liked what he was saying and what he was doing in the beginning until I realized that it was basically just a narcissistic love fest with himself for the entire 18 months that he was really in the limelight running. And I realized it was never going to stop. And there were all the different vacillations and all the things that he was saying from in front of one group of people that he was saying that were completely different in front of another group of people. And he's doing the same type of thing still now today. This is a problem because we're talking about the same thing that I'm talking about right here. You have to apply principles. If you cannot apply principles to your daily life, you cannot stand for anything because you are not going to be able to when the time comes. That's why this is important. That's why there have been what I consider a small group of us that throughout the election cycle, once we realized what was going on, that neither party was actually going to serve us in any way, shape, or form during this cycle, we stood up. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to try to get behind my newly elected president of the United States once he's sworn in and try to give him a chance. But it also doesn't mean that until that happens that I'm not going to call out the things that I see that are crazy. And there's plenty of that still going on. But again, with all of these people that are angry right now, and they're just, this election is unfair because there's never been such a wide gap in the popular vote before. There's never been this, there's never been that, and we need a new, better system. No, we don't. Our system, our governmental system, was designed by some of the smartest people on the planet in their time. And in some cases, most of them are probably smarter than all of us combined today. Because the system was designed to stand up in times just like this. And it was designed to not sway in the wind or turn on a dime. That's why we are not a democracy. We are not ruled by the popular vote for a reason. Because if we get to the point where we are an actual, true, one vote, one rule democracy, then we're going to fall apart. And that's what you're seeing today. Because we have people that think that we should be either a true democracy or maybe even a socialist country. And those two things are not capable of coexisting. They're truthfully not. Now, at this point, we are out of time. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to tune in with us today. This is America Off the Rails, and I'll be back with you again live tomorrow night. We'll have a double shot right here on KLRNradio.com, where we're going to have Jen and Rick first, and then America Off the Rails. And again, whether you're listening live, Memorex, or through podcast, or however, or hopefully maybe on this new place that we just applied for here pretty quick soon, I do want to thank everybody for taking the time to tune in. You guys take care. Have a great night. God bless. And remember, choices matter, and so do your principles. So don't give up on them, and they won't give up on you. Have a good night.
Don't
Clear, you guys. I'm going home. Later.
Game over, man. It's game over.